Today's video is going to be about mixing two Arctic Fox dies, and that would be Ritual and Purple Rain. So to start, I have the swatches labeled 1 through 10. That is not synonymous with hair levels. 1 is like a natural red, and then 2 is black, which goes up to platinum blonde, and then number 10 is like the toned version of number 9. So when I mix these dyes together, I like to do 3 separate parts on each strand. So for this video, the top is going to have more Ritual than Purple Rain. The center, I think we can do an even mixture because they're both kind of darker dyes, and then the ends will have more Purple Rain than Ritual. To start, for the top, I'm doing a tablespoon of Ritual to a 1/4 of a teaspoon of Purple Rain. For the center, I'm doing equal parts, which for me is a 1/4 of a teaspoon of both Ritual and Purple Rain. So for the last mixture, we're going to do a tablespoon of Purple Rain and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of Ritual. Alright, I'm gonna let these sit for like 3 hours. I will rinse them out, and then once they are dry, I will meet you back here. If I sound kind of weird, I kind of just got like sick overnight, but I'm gonna try my best to sound normal. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit harder to tell on camera the difference between the colors, but in person you can see a difference, and I think when we do the close-ups in natural lighting, you'll probably be able to tell there too. Also, I do believe that it dyed all the swatches except number 2, which is the black one, which is to be expected. I think what I'm going to do is compare these to Ritual and then compare them to Purple Rain. Unfortunately, my Purple Rain swatches kind of suck. It was my first video that I ever did on this channel, so they're not super accurate, which in my opinion, the ends, obviously they had more Purple Rain, but they do look how I imagine Purple Rain looking, but we'll compare. So this is Arctic Fox Ritual, comparable to number 10, 9, and 8. Keep in mind I do dilute the dyes as we go down, so don't really pay attention to that. Try to just look up there. Purple Rain, I think, is a little bit darker than Ritual. It's very highly pigmented, so it kind of darkens the top where there is more Ritual, but you can definitely see the difference. There's not as much purple in Ritual. And then this is comparable to number 1. Mixing with Purple Rain definitely helps to kind of cover up the natural redness of the hair. I don't know if it really looks that much different than any of these. I think the center one does. I guess the ends too, but the top part looks very similar to like 8 and 9. And just for reference, this is comparable to number 7, 6, and 5. Originally, I thought Ritual was a darker dye, but now that I'm comparing it to it being mixed with Purple Rain, it clearly can dye darker hair. Here is an example. I mean, I don't know if you can tell in this lighting as much, but this part is definitely dyed, even though it was a dark brown. But adding the Purple Rain kind of just gives it a little bit more depth, but you can still see like the berry tones at the top. This is going to be Arctic Fox's Purple Rain, but again, swatches are not that good. This is comparable to number 10. So if I drag it down, you can kind of see the similarities there. Even though this one is darker, I do believe I did something wrong because this isn't as dark as it's supposed to be. And just so you know, I will be redoing Purple Rain. I just thought we'd still use these swatches for now because it does help with at least the undertone. This is comparable to number 9. So to me, I really don't see much of the red at the ends. Purple Rain is very pigmented, so I think it kind of takes over Ritual at this point. This is comparable to number 8 and comparable to number 7. I don't know, it could just be me, but I really think if you did want to make Purple Rain a little bit more red, it's better to add closer to an equivalent amount of Ritual, because there you can really kind of see the difference in undertone. Especially here, I feel like it's easy. It becomes a lot more berry-like versus the ends. So like I said, I will be redoing Purple Rain in a future video. And when I do redo Purple Rain, I will compare the swatches again if you're very curious, because I know this isn't the best comparison. I just thought it'd be better than nothing though. I'd rather show at least this than no Purple Rain at all. I haven't really done many deeper, darker berry tones on my channel yet that aren't already like the Ritual or the Purple Rain. I will compare it though to Special Effects in Burgundy Wine. The Burgundy Wine was one that I thought was a deep dye like these, but it's actually more, I don't know how to explain it properly. It dyes dark hair and it really looks burgundy wine on darker hair, and then on the lighter hair it's not so deep. I don't know. I'll just show you. So this is comparable to number 10. This is comparable to number 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3. Again, it might be a little bit harder to tell on camera in this lighting. Number 2 and 3 have that more burgundy look, but even though they do have that more burgundy look, it's definitely not as deep as the mixture. And honestly, on number 3 and 4 for the mixtures, it is actually kind of hard to tell the difference between the 3 parts. The ends definitely look more purple than these 2 bits, but these 2 bits look very similar to each other. So my advice would just be, if you have deeper hair like this and you want to have more of like a red tone, adding in the Purple Rain doesn't really help with that as much. Using a dye that is like a pink or red base is probably a little bit better for you if that's what you want. Now that we've seen everything kind of compared together, I'd like to get into the close-ups. Happy Halloween if you celebrate Halloween. Halloween is one of my favorite times of the year. Thank you so very much for watching. I do hope this video helped. I do have a link in the description below for a link to a request form you can fill out. That basically just gets submitted directly to me and then I can kind of organize everything from there. But comments are okay too. Thank you again for watching and I hope to see you in my next video.